Why can Beast Boy only turn into animals? Well, before we go into detail, I just want to say that there are many different versions of Beast Boy, and that this video is based on the TV series Young Justice's version of Beast Boy. In the TV series Young Justice, there is a boy named Garfield Logan, who suffers an accident during an attack on his home, which is an animal sanctuary. During the attack, he was injured so bad that he would have died without a blood transfusion. Unfortunately, there was no one with the same blood type as him there, so Miss Martian used her shape-shifting powers to make her blood the same as his.
He's in shock. He needs a blood transfusion now. Is either of you O negative?
No, sorry.
Neither am I. It's the hardest to match. I kept a supply in the clinic. What's Superboy's blood type?
He's Kryptonian. And Miss Martian...
Might be able to help. My shapeshifting occurs at the cellular level. I think I can morph my blood to match his.
Please, try.
The transfusion worked and Garfield Logan survived, but shortly after the transfusion, he turned green and developed the ability to turn into animals.
Don't worry, the Peregrine Falcon is the world's fastest bird. He won't get away.
Since this happened straight after the blood transfusion, it was fairly obvious that the transfusion had given him the powers since it had come from a Martian.
Race it to the mag rail!
Slow down, Gar! Before a carnivorous tree takes a bite out of your...
No worries. You can just give me another blood transfusion. Whatever power I get this time.
But since his power had come from the transfusion of Martian blood, then logically he should have more powers than just turning into any animal. After all, a Martian can fly, read minds, they have super strength, telekinesis, turn invisible, walk through walls. Basically, they have a shed load of powers, but Beast Boy can only turn into animals, which doesn't quite make sense, because even if he did only get Miss Martian's shape-shifting power, then why would he only be able to turn into animals? Surely he should be able to shapeshift into anyone or anything.
Dude, you got it twisted! Your old man straight up the bomb!
Why are you talking like that? How are you talking like that?
Your dad gave her the power to speak like an Earth teen.
Ah!
And he gave me the power to turn into anything I want. Look!
And yet you choose to be a beanbag.
Now I can veg out on myself.
LOL! Woo!
Well, there are a lot of different theories on this, but there are three that are most likely to be true. The first theory is that the blood transfusion wasn't pure Martian blood. Miss Martian had changed her blood to match the young boy's, and because of this, only some of the Martian abilities crossed over to him, which is why he can only shapeshift, instead of having all of Miss Martian's other powers. And the reason that he can only shapeshift into animals is that only a portion of the shapeshifting power crossed over. Since it's such a small amount that crossed over, he doesn't have the full shapeshifting power, he instead only has the power to turn into a different animal. He can only change his species, rather than change into anything. The second theory is that it's a psychological disorder, that Beast Boy does actually have the ability to turn into anything, but for some reason he doesn't believe he can, and his own fear is holding him back. And if he could overcome whatever psychological reason is holding him back, he could shapeshift into anything. No one knows for sure what would have caused this psychological trauma, but the most likely culprit is that his mother was assassinated by the evil Queen Bee, and this naturally caused him a lot of psychological problems, especially since he was the one who found her body.
Beast Boy?
Garfield, what is it? Oh, Gar, I'm so sorry. I should have been there, done something. But it's not your fault. You couldn't have stopped Queen Bee. I miss your mom too, but we have to keep moving. It's not safe here. Please.
And the third theory, the theory which I think is most likely to be the correct one, is that Garfield Logan always had a metagene inside of him that would allow him to turn into any animal, but the metagene was dormant.
Metagene? A genetic marker indicating the potential of an individual human to survive catastrophic physical trauma by adapting new abilities.
In other words, Ambassador, the metagene allows certain humans to develop superhuman powers.
So Garfield Logan's dormant metagene was activated by the accident and the Martian blood transfusion, meaning that Beast Boy didn't get any shape-shifting powers from Miss Martian. Instead, the accident and the following blood transfusion were just the catalyst that activated his metagene, and when it was active, it allowed Beast Boy to turn into any animal. So to clarify, His powers actually come from his own metagene, which was activated by the blood transfusion. He didn't get any powers from Miss Martian herself. And those are the 3 most likely theories. But as I said, I think the third theory is the correct one, in my opinion. But do you agree with me on this, or do you think it's one of the other theories? Or do you have another theory altogether on why Beast Boy can only turn into animals? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.